Good evening, everyone. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. Meeting dates for the year confirmed at the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center and published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Copies of all revised or additional meeting notices are sent via fax to the Record, Suburbanite, and Northern Valley Press, and are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center. You going to take attendance?
No, because it's a continuation.
Okay. Just so you don't feel you're the only one that's confused, I'm confused also. This is a continuation of our last meeting, so there's no attendance taken, there's no salute to the flag. We'll just finish up the agenda for the year, which is I'll ask for a motion to approve the following sets of minutes. On December 5th, the closed session, the work session, and the second closed session. On December 6th, our special regular meeting. And on December 12th, our regular meeting and our closed session. Motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Before we do that...
You can just say when it's time to vote. You can just say no for whatever one you
No, I
want
want to take it separately. I would like to separate the R-1744 for execute contract extension.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus D, R-17-444. Motion, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Hader?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Stefanowicz?
Yes.
Councilmember Zinna?
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the one that was left off. That's D, R-17. Shh. Wait a second, please. R-17-444. A motion, please?
So moved.
A second? A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Oh, you want discussion?
No, it's a discussion now. The discussion, but basically what I want to make sure...
First of all, keep in mind that you were told earlier in the day, it's a fine line, but what can be discussed in open
we
session...
We understand so well.
I'm talking to you, not we. You.
Oh, Wiki Masabi. So the issue over here was basically extending of the senior advisor for the transportation. What we want to make sure that we get a final solution, since this is basically just a temporary extension, and most towns run that whole program with only one person. So I just want to make this very clearly so people understand.
And that is our intent, to
Good.
get a person that is going to run both of them. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Hader?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Stefanowicz?
Yes.
Councilmember Zinna?
Yes.
Thank you. Audience remarks for anything? We will have audience remarks again at the reorg meeting. I would like to recognize our state senator and the majority leader of the state Senate.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you for giving me a few moments now, and I will ask for a few moments when you go into the reorganization. I know I'm going to be joined very shortly by my colleague, Assemblywoman Valerie Huddle. Assemblyman Johnson is covering at another swearing-in, so we've got a lot of them today. First of all, to all of you, Happy New Year. And
Happy
certainly
New Year.
to all the residents of Tenafly, Happy New Year. And if I might take a moment, one of the stalwarts of the New Jersey State Legislature, I can't call him a predecessor because I didn't quite follow him in succession.
He's been called a lot of things,
For a
Loretta.
long time. But I want to tell you, Tenafly's own Al Burstein is still celebrated in the halls of the New Jersey Legislature, as well he should be. So you should be proud of him and glad that he is here with us tonight. So with that, I came, we don't give resolutions to incoming people, so you kind of have to earn it. You only get it when you're on your way out of office. So it is with great pleasure that I want to thank Mark Zinna, and I guess your councilman is not here.
Paul Stefanowicz.
Oh, there, oh, okay, you're sitting in a different spot. And Joe Stefanowicz. To thank you both for your service. You know, I know, having served on a local council, that it is the hardest job, much harder than being a state legislator, actually, because there is not too much between you and the public. And my heart would be in my mouth when it snowed, because the phone calls would start. They plowed in my driveway, they didn't plow out my driveway, you know, and I'd say my husband's chasing the DPW truck right up the street as we speak. So I know the time that you have to spend and the work that you do, and it's really all the best kind of government closest to the people, the local municipal council. So to both of you, congratulations on whatever you choose to do. There's always another gubernatorial run, Mark.
Always, always.
So with that, on behalf of my two legislative colleagues, I don't know if you come down here or I go up there, whichever. Thank you. Thank you
Paul,
both.
face this way.
Photo op. Photo op. Thank you. One more.
This is for the New York Times.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Good luck.
Thank you, Senator Weinberg. You make the job sound so tough. I'm concerned council members-elect in the audience might not want to come up here. The raise we can provide. At this time, I have a couple of, well, while we're on the subject matter, as is our tradition, we have a gift for both of our council members who are leaving the dais. It's been a pleasure to serve with Mark. Which have been 6 or 9 years, Mark?
6 years.
6 years. It seems like 9. No. Mark has served admirably as our council president, and it's been a pleasure to be able to have somebody of his caliber to work with. And I'm going to miss him, and hopefully he'll be back someday.
Thank you, Peter.
My
Future
pleasure.
governor. Future governor.
Paul's only been here 3 years, but in that time, I've come to value not only his work ethic, and he's a quiet guy, but when he says something, it always makes a lot of sense. And he brought to the governing body the historic perspective, which is, I think, very, very important in a town like Tenafly, where we honor tradition and we want to maintain the character of our community. And Paul was a stalwart in that area, and I'm pleased that he's going to stay on as our borough historian. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Oh, great.
Just as I'm pleased that Mark has agreed to take a seat on the Environmental Commission. So they're not going far. And I see in our audience, I'm glad she's here because I invited her, and I wanted to recognize somebody who's, besides being a historian, has become a very close friend of mine, Alice Rigney. Long before I was mayor, and then after I became mayor, I used to sit on Virginia Mosley's porch and learn about a lot of things about Tenafly. It was very educational and very helpful in doing this job. And when Virginia left, I was very concerned that we might never see a historian of that caliber again. And my concerns were answered by Alice. Alice is a Tenafly lifer, and you know, when you have a love for something and you run across somebody who also has a love for the same thing, you bond. And we've bonded over our love of Tenafly, and she is so talented beyond history. She's an artist. She's a calligrapher. I love getting my holiday cards from her because they are a treasure. The walls in my office and out here are decorated by her work. If you have an opportunity on the way out or during the intermission, there's a painting in the wall, the Wilson Conference Room of Fisher's Pond that Alice did. and she was so kind enough to lend it to us. So she has been a treasure, will remain a treasure, and I hope that you're not going too far, maybe a little traveling, but I'd like to read this proclamation because it just puts into words my feelings for Alice, and I'm sure everybody here on the board, the people on the Historic Preservation Commission, just treasure the work that she's done. Whereas a borough historian is charged with gathering and protecting any and all books, documents, photographs, and other items that serve as an archive of the history of a community. And whereas Alice Renner Rigney has served with distinction as the borough historian for 12 years, and whereas Alice Rigney has used her numerous talents as an artist, calligrapher, and archivist to help preserve and enhance the history of Tenafly, and whereas Alice Rigney has shared her love and knowledge of Tenafly with residents both young and old, and instilled in each resident in Tenafly, she has met a better appreciation of the history of Tenafly. And whereas Alice Rigney, in many instances, has partnered with the Tenafly Historic Preservation Commission to protect the history and legacy of Tenafly, and whereas Alice Rigney has identified and mentored a logical successor to herself as borough historian in Paul Stefanowitz, and therefore, on behalf of the borough of Tenafly, I wish to recognize and show appreciation for the work that Alice has done on behalf of the borough of Tenafly, and to thank her for her service to our community on the occasion of her retirement as Tenafly Borough Historian. My honor. My honor. Big shoes to fill, Paul.
You got it.
And second, and also important, we have in Tenafly a Mayor's Wellness Campaign, and an offshoot of that is the Mayor's Wellness Hall of Fame. Some time ago, we inducted the crossing guards into the Hall of Fame because they basically promote and assist students in walking to school, which is a healthy activity. Well, another healthy activity is promoted at our library. We have one of the greatest public libraries. I know I grew up in Teaneck, and I know Teaneck's got a public library too, Loretta, but that's a little bigger. This is a great public library, and one of the things that makes it great is the staff. I'm sure that if you have had the opportunity to go into the library, you have to be very pleased by the way the staff greets everybody and is there to assist you in any manner possible. And when we lost our director, the new director came aboard, didn't skip a beat, and the library just keeps growing and improving. And it's not an easy thing to do, because some people think libraries are passé because people aren't reading books anymore. But libraries have a lot of opportunities to expand their mission as well, as you'll hear in my proclamation. So whereas the goal of the Tenafly Mayor's Wellness Campaign is to promote and facilitate good health by giving our community members healthy options that will lead to a healthy lifestyle, and whereas a healthy lifestyle requires healthy initiatives that benefit both physical and mental health, and whereas public libraries present our residents, both young and old, with resources and opportunities to achieve intellectual growth at whatever rate that an individual feels comfortable with, and whereas for over 100 years the Tenafly Public Library has been a place where residents have come to learn, study, or just read for the pure enjoyment that reading can bring, and whereas the Tenafly Public Library has continued to evolve with the times as residents become comfortable using new learning tools such as the internet, CDs, and DVDs, and the library has adapted and added to the library's e-learning infrastructure and resources. And whereas the children's room at the Tenafly Public Library teaches and promotes the love of books and learning for Tenafly's children. And whereas Tenafly's adults find a multitude of opportunities to learn or relax at the library, including a quiet reading room, clubs, lectures, art exhibits, and concerts. And whereas Tenafly students find the library a desirable place to study or do research, which enables them to attain the highest level of scholarship that allows them to qualify for the best colleges and universities in America. And whereas none of these distinctions would be possible in a library without the well-trained, highly motivated staff, and whereas the Tenafly Public Library is distinguished for the men and women who staff it, professionals who inspire the residents of Tenafly to enjoy reading, to enjoy studying, and to enjoy the opportunity for intellectual growth that our library provides. Therefore, the Tenafly Mayor's Wellness Campaign salutes and recognizes the staff of the Tenafly Library and the Tenafly Library Board for all that they do on a daily basis to help promote a healthy lifestyle for all Tenafly residents. Members of the Tenafly Library staff have advocated and supported Tenafly Mayor's Wellness Campaign initiatives, such as programs that encourage physical movement and increased awareness and knowledge about good health practices. The library staff has initiated and led activities in conjunction with the Tenafly Mayor's Wellness Campaign Conversation of a Lifetime program, which acts to encourage members of our community to plan and deal with end-of-life issues. We take this opportunity to recognize and thank each and every member of the Tenafly Public Library staff for your service to our community, and take this opportunity to enshrine the library staff into our Mayor's Wellness Campaign Hall of Fame. Our library director, any members of the staff or the board, please come up and accept this proclamation. Julie is our library director. We have three members of the board. And Pat Rouse. Kathy Burke.
Let's stop talking. Let Julie next to you. Much better. Block here. Yes. That's good. That's the
Before I forget, I need to talk to you. I forget silence. Talk to me.
And although I mentioned them in the proclamation, the library board is so important in overseeing a library, and we have such a great board. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our recess meeting. We have a little wine and cheese thing back there without any wine, and then we'll gather here in about 15 minutes for our reorg meeting.
So,
Motion?
so moved.
Thank you, Max. A second? Second. Please, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Please join us outside for a little... Good evening once again. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. Meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center, and published in the record in the first 10 days of the new year. Copies of all revised or additional meeting notices are sent via fax to the record, the Suburbanite and Northern Valley Press, and are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center. Salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bash?
Here.
Councilmember Hayter?
Here.
Councilmember Park? Here. Mayor Russick?
Here. Okay, at this time, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our State Senator Loretta Weinberg to administer the oath of office to Councilwoman-elect Lauren Dayton.
Thank you very much, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to administer the oath of office to this new young woman. Pardon me if I underline that a little bit. Council member. You know, Tenafly is kind of close to my heart and Valerie Huddle's heart, because I wouldn't have gotten into the Senate, therefore she wouldn't have gotten into the Assembly, if it hadn't been for the great political leaders in Tenafly who stood up on a very important issue. So you are being sworn into a town that has a proud history, and the mayor mentioned Teaneck, so if you'll pardon me for a moment of chauvinism, your town administrator lives in Teaneck, and you're lucky to have her over here. Your clerk used to be the clerk in Teaneck, and you are lucky to have her here too. So we have a lot of Teaneck connections here. But I'm going to administer the oath of office. And do you want your family to come up here, Laura?
I'm just going to bring up my daughter, Emily.
Okay, Emily, you're front and center.
Lauren, you need help holding the Bible, one of the kids?
You know, I was at a party at Laurel's house in her backyard. And if that's not the future of Tenafly, I don't know what is. The backyard was filled with little kids running in every different direction. So I guess they were all your friends who were there at the party? And you were all having a great time. And so you can be very proud of your mom,
If only third graders could
because
vote.
she is now going to be the councilwoman. You know, that means you have to listen to her. Because she gets to give orders to people. So with that, the Bible, who's going to hold the Bible for Mom? Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
Lauren Dayton,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States,
and to the governments established in the United States,
in this state,
in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of the office of
perform all the duties of the office of
Councilwoman
Councilwoman
for the Borough of Tenafly,
for the Borough of Tenafly,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Mazel tov.
One picture.
One picture.
Who's the last speaker on the microphone? Thank you.
Val, come up for a picture with us.
Who's the lucky guy with all those women?
We have to sign. Make it official.
Bill, is Kathy swearing you in?
So the only thing she needs is a hookah and to break the glass.
Okay, now it's my privilege and honor to ask Al Bernstein to come up and administer the oath of office to Councilman-elect Jeff Grossman.
was told that I should follow Loretta Weinberg and do whatever she did, and she double-banked me by delivering a speech beforehand. But I want to say just one word about Jeff Grossman, councilman-elect. Jeff's father, Stanley Grossman, was on what I call our staff because he was a partner of mine in the legislative work that I did during the period of 1971 to 81. And a more extraordinary man is rare to find. But I have every confidence that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and that you're going to find Councilman-elect Grossman a benefit to the town of Tenafly. Jeff, you'll repeat after me, please.
I would.
I
I, Jeffrey D. Grossman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of councilman in the borough of Tenafly,
perform all the duties of councilman in the borough of Tenafly,
so help according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Jeff, you have a pretty good group of advisors there, I can tell. She'll be home by midnight. She'll be home by midnight, don't worry.
Can I just, a couple of quick comments?
You didn't know what kind of trouble we're going to get.
His first filibuster.
Real quickly, I just, three things. I want to thank my wife, Shell, my sons, Rob and Stephen, because they've supported me through all this and many years on the zoning board before this. That's number one, very important, and without them, I wouldn't be here. Number two, the voters at Tenafly. I want to thank the voters because they have entrusted Lauren and myself with great responsibility, and I hope that we not only live up to it, but exceed it. And finally, I cannot thank former Assemblyman Burstein enough for being here tonight, for swearing me in. As he said, my dad had been an aide to him and had worked with him for a decade. My dad has not been with us for several decades, and having Assemblyman Burstein swear me in made me feel like he was here. and also that those are two of the most morally upright gentlemen I have known in politics, and I am going to try and aim to live up to the standards they set. Thank you.
Jeff, your dad would be quite proud. And if I may say to Lauren and to Jeff, if the people you chose to swear you in is any indication, you're going to do just fine. You really made an excellent selection of swearer-inners. Now that you've been sworn in, get prepared to get sworn at. Roll call of the 2018 Mayor and Council, please.
Councilmember Bash?
Here.
Councilmember Dayton?
Here.
Councilmember Grossman?
Here.
Councilmember Hayter?
Here.
Councilmember Park?
Here.
Mayor Rustin.
Here. Now, it's my pleasure to appoint as our borough attorney Bill McClure, and he's going to be sworn in by his wife, the Honorable Kathy McClure.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before this can be done, we need a motion to approve that nomination? A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Hayter? Yes. Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hayter?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
You got now.
Oh, good one, John.
Yes, right now. Yeah. If Barcelona's not here, you'll be even lower.
Please repeat after me. I,
William McClure,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
that I will bear
true faith
faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of Borough Attorney
perform all the duties of the office of Borough Attorney
for the Borough of Tenafly
for the Borough of Tenafly
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me
so
God.
help me God.
Kathy, you want to sign?
While Bill is taking his seat on the dais, I'd like to recognize our Assemblywoman Valerie Huddle. It's such a privilege to be able to serve with representatives that we actually see every now and then. You shouldn't take for granted the fact that these folks show up, because there are many towns that don't see their state representatives from year to year. And Valerie and Loretta and Gordon are very active. They live nearby, and it's a pleasure working with them, and it's a two-way street. Just as we appreciate your support, feel free to lean on any of us anytime you need some support down in Trenton. Not that that would ever happen, but, you know. They talk about how hard our job is. I wouldn't want to trade places with them, but thank you for coming tonight, and you're always welcome.
We are fully honored to see you here.
Now there's time for public comment. If anybody would like to speak on any particular item of interest, please.
No, Council President first.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more important thing. I'll entertain a motion for a nomination for a council president. This should come from one of the members of the council.
I move to nominate Max Bosch as council president.
Okay, I'm going to guess that there are no other nominations. I'll take a second.
Seconded.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Abstain.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hayter?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Thank you, and congratulations, Max. So we'll open up public comment with our Assemblywoman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to wish everyone a happy and healthy New Year, number one, but also I want to congratulate the new council members. And we just came from Englewood, Loretta and I, and we have 2 women on the council, so we say now we're 40% there. So I see that Tenafly is 40% there as well. But I truly wish you collaboration and working together for moving Tenafly forward, because as your mayor said, we are neighbors, and we utilize Tenafly just as much as we use our own towns, and Tenafly is a jewel in District 37. And also, in addition, your mayor is in constant communication with his legislators by email, by phone, so he's constantly keeping us on our toes. So with that, it's always a pleasure to be here. Congratulations and best of luck, and good luck to the outgoing council as well. Mark, congratulations too. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Can I also make a statement? First of all, I want to thank you so much for the trust you have in honoring me by selecting me to be the council president. This year, people in New Jersey are going to be very hardly hit by these taxes that we get, federal taxes. So at the next meeting in January 23rd, I would like to introduce a resolution with the support of the council and mayor to basically have a zero budget for the 2018, and I hope you guys are going to support me. Thank you.
Okay, public comment from the public? Okay, I'll close the, yes, please.
Christine Evrod, President of the Tenafly NJ Chamber of Commerce. I just want to thank both Mark and Paul for the tremendous help they've given the business community this year and the entire council this past year with all the actions they've considered that have truly helped the business community. We appreciate everything you do, and we look forward to working with you this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. You did a great job.
Okay, any other public care to speak? Then we'll move on the agenda. I'd like to make the appointments, the following appointments, and then ask for confirmation for them. The appointment of the Labor Council, Ruderman, Horn, and Esmeraldo. Appointment of the Borough Auditor, Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins. The appointment of the Bond Council, Waters, McPherson, and McNeil. And the following appointments. Prosecutor, Mark Fierro. First alternate municipal prosecutor, Andrea Simaluka. Public defender, Jordan Eulis. First alternate public defender, Robert Metzdorf. Second alternate public defender, Nina Remsen. And borough historian, Paul Stefanowitz. Could I get a motion, please? So moved. A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hayter?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Thank you. I'm making the following appointments to the Planning Board: Mark Harrison, Ted Cagey, John Warms, which has to be confirmed by the Environmental Commission, and Eugene Quam. As a member of the Planning Board, all of these people are current members and are being reappointed. I'm very pleased to serve on a board that I believe functions extremely well, and each one of these gentlemen were part of it. I'll ask for a nomination for the council seat on the Planning Board.
Okay. If it's possible, I would like to be resolved by the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly, Bergen County, New Jersey, that the councilman Jeff Grossman is hereby designated as a Class 3 member of the planning board for 1 year, a term to expire on January 1, 2019.
Do we need a vote?
I need a second.
A second, please?
Seconded.
Okay.
Do you want the roll call, or?
Yes.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Abstain.
Councilmember Hayter?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
You don't vote for yourself.
Before we go any further, there's nothing wrong with voting for yourself. Show a little self-confidence. Okay, the following appointments for the Board of Adjustment, the Zoning Board, Alan Citron, Adam Kaminsky, Vanu Menon, and Joel Friedman. And the only new member of the board will be the second alternate, Dan Steinhagen. For the Environmental Commission, Olga Milanos, Anna Makarinos, John Worms, Allison Chertoff, and the two new members, I'm pleased to appoint Zenobia Prizakis. Is she here? No? And Mark Zinna. Mark, thank you very much for staying with us. The Historic Preservation Commission, David Wall, Sereno Denise, and as our student liaison, Nick Stefanowitz. I'm going to need a confirmation for the following appointments. The Board of Health, Howard Bader and Etta Frankel. The Library Board, Kathleen Cook. The Recreation Board, Sarah Levinson and David Rochelle. And the Access for All Committee, Jackie Salzman. And we do have one vacancy on that board, if you know of anybody. All of these people are incumbents and have served us well, and I'm pleased they are willing to continue to serve. If I could have a motion to approve those appointments, please.
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Please call the...
1811, which is Dan.
Oh, also, I'm sorry, the Tenafly Municipal Alliance Committee, Dan Park. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Grossman?
Yes.
Councilmember Hayter?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Thank you. Additional appointments, Youth Services Advisory Committee, Debbie Yu, and as our director, Mark Slauson. There are two vacancies on this board. If anybody knows of anybody that's interested, the board oversees the teen center. Please communicate with me at your earliest convenience. Senior Citizen Service Committee, this is a group that has done marvelous things over the last year. We have a senior bus. We have a position, Senior Services Coordinator. Our seniors are no longer being left behind. We are, and there's a lot of room for growth this year. And the people that I'm appointing, with one exception, are all incumbents, and they've done a wonderful job. Rose Kao, Jerry Koch, Mary Ann Hart, the new person, Sylvia Volin, and of course our directors and Assistant Director Rebecca Staffer and Michelle Hausch. The Tenafly Welcome Committee, which is another committee that I think serves us extremely well. We have a couple of new people on that committee. The incumbents are Christine Evron, Kathy Kojanis, Constantine Rigas, Carol Schulter, Desi Chavez, and Lourdes Lopez. And the new people on the committee, Bianca Hahn, and Or Kadick, and Vanessa Simone. The Joint Use Committee, which meets with the Board of Education, pleased to sit with Daniel Park and Lauren Dayton. The Nature Center liaison will be Dan Park again. Tenafly Presents, I'm asking Jeff Grossman, who attends the concerts anyway, to be my right and left-hand man, and don't abstain, okay?
Okay.
The Chamber of Commerce, Shama Hayter, will stay there with Lauren Dayton. And our Transportation Committee, myself, Jeff Grossman, Howard Seiden, Joe McDermott, Gus Allen, our Police Chief Robert Chamberlain, Kevin Tremble, and Michael Bishop. The council liaison to the Tenafly Fire Department will be Tony Barzalato, who's under the weather tonight, which is why he's not here. Our council liaison to the Volunteer Ambulance Corps is Daniel Park. And I'm pleased to serve on the Board of Police Commissioners with Council President Max Bosch and Councilman Daniel Park. I would now like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you. A second? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bash?
Just one second.
Was that the consent?
Something I want to
Yeah.
report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the consent agenda.
I did have a question before that.
I do too.
Okay.
On 18-16, to reaffirm the personnel manual for 2018.
Right.
I've never seen this manual, so I don't know what I'm approving.
Well, you can vote yes and abstain on 16 if you'd like, and if it's something you are interested in, our clerk or our administrator can give you a handbook. I will tell you, though, I'm very proud of it. Over the last 5 years, it's been upgraded and brought up to date, and it serves us well. But I think if you're interested,
Yeah,
get a copy and look at it.
I would
You might
love
want to
to
do
get
that too,
that.
Lauren. Because we will refer to it, occasionally at our
I don't
meetings.
think I've ever seen it, Mayor. I would like to take a look at it also.
Sure.
See, I think it'd be better off.
Is it something you'll send us online, or is it a paper thing?
Do we
It's
have-
about almost 200 pages.
Oh, dear God, don't send it online.
And there'll be a quiz. So, okay, it's not really to be discussed now. If you're interested in it, let the Borough Clerk know, and if we...
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send it to your new email.
Motion to, so I've got a motion and a second. Please call the roll on the consent agenda.
Okay, Councilmember Bash?
Yes, with the exception of R816, which I'm going to abstain till I see the document.
Well, I would suggest, since nobody appears to see the document, let's approve it, and you can review it, and if there's any need to amend it, we can. But we can't go into 2018 without a personnel manual.
We can extend the old one, but till we...
Is this the old one?
It's the one that was approved in 2014. It has to be reaffirmed for 5 years under best
Oh,
practices.
that's why I haven't seen it, because I wasn't on the council.
When there are additional statutory changes, we receive those updates. So we've gotten the one about pregnancy, we've gotten the one about the updated rice notice. So that all becomes part of the total package. So it's continuously updated.
So look, I
If you
have...
don't vote on it today, what would happen?
I think you're not voting it out, you're just not...
We just want to see
We're
it.
still,
Yeah, exactly.
we're still bound by all of the
Exactly.
regulations and all
So we
laws
can
that...
see it, just see it and vote on it next time, right? I mean, to vote on it,
So let me see if I get this. This is like the tax bill that the United States Senate approved. You'll be prepared to vote on it in 3 weeks after reading 200 pages?
At least through the major part of it.
Okay.
some of it.
Yeah.
So
You voted on it last year. You voted in favor of it
The
last
year
year.
before.
And the year before
All
that.
right, then I'll vote on it.
just vote on it. And like I said, if you have an urge to amend it, we can always discuss it.
All right.
So once
Call the roll again?
we'll start to call the roll again, please.
Councilmember Bash?
Yeah, except with the R16, which I'm abstaining.
Okay. Councilmember Dayton?
Yes, except for our 1816, I agree. I think, I want to make sure all the laws are updated for 2018.
Councilmember Grossman?
Ditto the sentiment on 1816, since I raised that, and as the mayor suggests, I can abstain on that as the suggestion, so I will.
I didn't suggest you should abstain.
You said
Don't
that
put
it's an
that on me.
All right, you said it's an option,
I said you could vote yes.
or abstain. That was an option. So I will go with option B.
Okay. Councilmember Hayter?
I'll vote yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
So I guess I voted to break at the tie?
No, it's 3-2.
It's 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. Well, no, abstains are not no's.
So
It passed.
There's no time to...
It passed.
Yeah,
But once again, I suggest that those that want to read it, and if there's any changes you could suggest, we can easily discuss them. As we have over the last few years, when we've gone to make changes, they've been discussed first, either in open or closed session, depending on the issue. Okay, any members of the boards or commissions or committees that have not been recognized tonight? I know I see former Councilman Warms, who's on the Environmental Commission here, his wife, Liz Warms, who's on the Library Board, Gloria Lane, who's on the Senior Services Advisory Committee. Anybody else that I... Joel Friedman, is he still here? Oh, I'm sorry, Joel, I didn't see him. And he's on our zoning board. Christine Evron's on the Welcome Committee.
Vino's on our zoning
Vino
board.
is on the zoning.
Vino, I'm sorry, okay. Well, everybody's here a member almost. It's good to see everybody, and thank you for your continued service to our community. I truly believe that these boards and commissions really are an important job, and I'm pleased, and Dan Steinhagen is here also. He's going to be the new member on the zoning board. So we're down to the last item. It's a good place for it, the State of the Borough address. Anyway, good evening. The first step I take in preparing this annual message is to review the speech I delivered last year. When I couldn't find my speech for 2017, it took me a second to realize that I didn't write the speech because at this time last year I was in Englewood Hospital, recovering from my first serious medical crisis that I've ever faced. Fortunately, that health episode is behind me, and I've never felt better. And I wish to thank everyone for their prayers and well wishes. I would especially like to thank Mark Zinna, who as council president carried on in my absence, not only chairing the meetings, but making sure that at no time did any part of Tenafly feel that they were mayorless. In addition, Mark was kind enough to communicate with me on a continual basis, keeping me appraised of everything that was going on. So once again, I wish to thank Mark, publicly thank Mark for the manner in which he conducted the borough's business in my absence. 2017 was, besides that, was an interesting year. The dysfunctionality in Washington and Trenton truly defines what a trickle-down effect is. Not only do decisions made in Washington and Trenton, over which we have no control, impact each one of us, but many of those decisions make our ability to govern locally that much more challenging. Not only do numerous unfunded mandates create financial hardships, but complex regulatory initiatives often place roadblocks in our path to solid, economically sound government. Instead of partnering with municipalities, it often feels like our state government is doing its best to prevent us from serving our towns efficiently and effectively. Glad Senator Weinberg left. Anyway, a new government is taking the reins in Trenton, a new governor, but he comes with no governmental experience, and we all understand how difficult it can be for an individual, no matter how successful he or she has been in business, to grasp the nuances of the public sector. Our best hope is that Governor Murphy surrounds himself with good, experienced people and that he listens to them. In 2017, the new DPW building was completed and the staff of the DPW has moved into the new building. The final step in the project will be to demolish the old building, which will allow the creation of a new parking area and reestablish the normal ingress and egress into the DPW yard. The new building will not only provide a modern facility for our employees, but will give us the opportunity and the ability to serve our residents more efficiently. Looking ahead, there are numerous challenges facing the borough in 2018. COA, the Council on Affordable Housing, is one of those items that the state has failed to oversee properly. As a result, the process to provide additional affordable housing in New Jersey, an admirable and necessary goal, has created more problems and expense than anyone could have imagined. If the legal costs associated with COA could have been spent on actually creating affordable housing, New Jersey would be far better off. After over 20 years of trying to define COA and create a satisfactory process for providing affordable housing, I'm disappointed to say that municipalities in general, including Tenafly, still don't have a sense of what they can do to satisfy the regulations governing this round of COA requirements. I believe that Tenafly is still ahead of the curve in working with COA, and our goal is to create a housing plan that meets whatever obligations the courts finally settle on. Our capital plan in 2018 faces numerous challenges. We must continue to allocate sufficient funding to repair and maintain our infrastructure, which includes not only roads, but the many culverts and bridges in our town, as well as stormwater pipes and sewer lines. Last year's council understood the need to increase the size of our road rehabilitation program. We must continue that trend. No doubt the extreme weather we have experienced and will continue to experience will increase the need for road repairs in the spring. We must analyze the needs of our various departments when it comes to vehicles. The cost of maintaining a fleet of vehicles has many variables. We need to evaluate not only the number of vehicles each department has, but the age and condition of the fleet to determine whether or not it pays to replace or repair vehicles. A final decision will be made on January 23rd as to whether or not to add additional capital funds which will be used to replace the municipal field. Either way, the money should be spent wisely. In the 12-plus years that artificial turf has been in use, I have often stated that the money spent on the field was amongst the best uses of money the borough has ever spent. Folks don't remember what the field was like prior to the installation of turf. It was practically a dirt field. Overuse prevented grass from growing on it. The turf not only gave the field a beautiful look, it was actually a safer environment for our children and our adults to play on. And the amount of use we got from the new field practically tripled. The field was and is practically maintenance-free and can be played on even after a heavy rainstorm. However, when we built the field initially, we made two mistakes. First, we didn't put a fence around it. The fencing was greatly needed and was installed a year later. And second, we didn't turf a sufficient buffer area around the playing field, which has created an ongoing maintenance problem that hopefully we can eliminate this time with a replacement field. In any case, we have promised those who use the field that will be replaced in time for the fall season, which starts in September. Tenafly has made significant progress in addressing the needs of our senior population in 2017. The newly created Senior Services Advisory Committee helped to identify the needs of our seniors and started to address them using the theme Aging in Place. We are no longer willing to maintain an environment where seniors feel they can no longer afford to live in Tenafly because the level of services provided does not meet their needs. A senior bus started serving our seniors in 2017, providing transportation to and from doctor's offices, shopping, and whatever other needs seniors had on a daily basis. The position of Senior Services Coordinator was filled, and one of our goals in 2018 is to further review that job description and once again fill that position. In 2017, our Historic Preservation Commission identified 2 homes that met the requirements for preservation, and the council agreed to designate the homes as historic. This action followed the unfortunate loss of the estate at 53 Knickerbocker Road. The mayor and council are determined to maintain the distinctive character of Tenafly despite the continued pressures of new development. A newly strengthened tree ordinance is one example of that determination. It's been a few years since the governing body welcomed 2 new council members at our reorg meeting. First, speaking for myself and the 4 returning members of the council, I wish to thank Mark and Paul for their service, all the work they've done for the residents of Tenafly during their tenures. However, we're fortunate that they're not going away, just moving on. Paul is taking over as borough historian and a more qualified person you could not find for this position. I'm also pleased to appoint Mark to the Environmental Commission. Mark has always been a supporter of environmental enhancements. Tenafly is very fortunate that both Mark and Paul are willing to stay on. Lauren and Dayton and Jeff Grossman are our new council members. Jeff has lived in Tenafly his whole life and has served us well as a member of the zoning board for over 10 years and has served as its chair for the past 6 years. Lauren, an attorney by trade, has served on the Morham School HSA and is bringing a high level of enthusiasm and energy to the council table. We welcome both Lauren and Jeff and look forward to working with them. In closing, I offer a piece of advice to our new council members. You will be part of a team made up of elected officials and borough employees, all charged with the same objective, to continue to guide Tenafly in the right direction. The town is running well. Can we do better? Of course. Appreciate and acknowledge the significant learning curve you face. The good news is you have several terrific potential mentors available to you. We have in place an outstanding borough administrator and borough clerk, and I know from my personal experience that they are willing and able to answer any questions you might have. They're available to give you direction and guidance, and one of the main reasons I enjoy doing what I do is the excellence of our borough employees. Together, we can keep Tenafly the great town that it is. The challenges before us are staggering, but if we work together and work in an efficient manner, we will be able to look back at our record of achievement and be proud. I wish everybody a healthy and a happy new year, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Have a pleasant evening.